The streaming platforms at all levels, even the free ones like the Tubies and the Plutos, they want to offer their consumers the highest caliber product possible because they want the viewers to continue to keep coming back. So they don't want to dilute with smaller, lower budget indie product, albeit some of that product is really good. Okay, streaming. Probably the biggest subject these days in terms of distribution, because 95% of product is going to be streamed. That's just the way it is. People now have taken to digital streaming, and that's the way that most people consume entertainment, whether it be series or movies or docs or whatever the case may be. Most of it is done through streaming platforms, which is, in my estimation, fantastic. It's on demand. You can choose what you want, when you want, as much as you want, as little as you want. For the consumer, streaming is a wonderful thing. For the independent filmmaker, it's a little tricky to navigate. In the streaming world, there are basically 4 different styles or levels or kinds of platforms. The whole universe is called VOD, video on demand. Now, the first style is subscription video on demand. It's all the big streaming platforms that you subscribe to. So it would be Netflix, it would be Hulu, Amazon. These are platforms where you pay a monthly fee as a subscriber and you get to consume all the content on that platform. And of course they have different levels now, with commercials, without commercials, whatever. But the concept being you pay a monthly fee and you get access to their programming. That's why they call it subscription. You've paid your subscription fee. All right, which is fantastic because they offer unbelievable good quality programming. I'll just use Disney Plus as an example, okay? And look at Disney Plus, even $10 a month. Okay, I think it's cheaper than that. It might be $8 or something, but let's say at $10 a month. You have access to the Marvel universe, the entire Marvel universe, the entire Star Wars universe, the entire Disney universe, all of their movies from the past, all Touchstone, everything, all their series, all of the other programming that they're affiliated with. So as a consumer, that's a great deal. As a consumer, I'm really excited that these streaming platforms exist because it's fantastic viewing at very reasonable prices. The next level is called transactional video on demand. So that is the way we used to do it before subscription started. Basically, it's platforms that you pay to watch a certain show or certain content. And the biggest one now actually is Amazon. Let's talk about Amazon. Amazon Prime Video Direct. All right, it's not the Amazon subscription service. That's one. That's Amazon Prime. This is called Amazon Prime Video Direct, meaning that you can just go on and order one movie and pay for it, say $4.99 to rent it, or say, I don't know, $12.99 to purchase it and own it and have unlimited viewing. So that's transactional because you're transacting with the platform for one movie. All right, now that is not as popular anymore because for $4.99, that's half of a, say, Disney Plus subscription for the month. People generally do the subscription more so than the transactional. But transactional is still very viable because a lot of stuff is only available on transactional. So that's still somewhat viable, but getting less viable. Then there's AVOD. So AVOD stands for Advertising Video on Demand. And this is the new sort of emerging popular platforms because it's free. So a lot of primarily younger people like to consume things for free. They don't want to pay. And so what AVOD says is, we'll give you everything for free. You just have to watch advertisements. So as you're streaming on an AVOD platform, it stops every 10, 15 minutes, whatever the case may be, and some commercials run. And you watch it, and the filmmaker gets paid a percentage of the advertising revenue, and that's how these platforms exist, based on advertising revenue. And as I said, a lot of platforms now have various levels. Like the subscription platforms have AVOD modules where you can watch for free or for a reduced amount and watch a certain number of commercials. So there's hybrids that have developed over the last few years. And then the final sort of level or type of thing is what we call fast channels. And this is basically free advertising supplemented television. Think of an AVOD channel, a free channel that's going to run commercials, but it's programmed the way it's curated and programmed the way a regular television station would be programmed. So it's not video on demand. All right, video on demand is I choose what I want to watch when I want to watch it. Whereas fast, or say cable programmed stations basically say, here's what we're playing at this moment in time, and you can watch it for free, but commercials will run. The difference between, say, a fast channel and a regular cable channel is fast is free because it's digital, and the cable, you have to have a cable subscription, all right? But it's the same concept, more or less. That is streaming in a nutshell. For independent producers, independent filmmakers, streaming is great because it's a good, quick, easy way for consumers to watch your programming, but it's getting tougher and tougher and tougher to get onto these platforms. And that is because the competition is so stiff from the big players. So all of the major studios have hundreds and hundreds of hours, no, thousands, tens of thousands of hours of series and movies and programming and fantastic stuff. And of course, they're constantly producing new stuff. And that's because if we do a little bit of math, let's look at Netflix. Let's just say 200 million subscribers pay, say, $15 a month. What is it, $3 billion or something? And so they have the ability to make unbelievably fantastic programming and offer it, to their subscriber base. And they don't necessarily need indie films anymore because indie films aren't really in demand for subscribers that are looking for really high caliber series and movies and stuff that's all A-list actor driven. The streaming platforms at all levels, even the free ones like the Tubis and the Plutos, they want to offer their consumers the highest caliber product possible because they want the viewers to continue to keep coming back. So they don't want to dilute with smaller, lower budget indie product, albeit some of that product is really good, but some of it is really bad. That's why all these platforms now, including the AVOD platforms, have become more curated, meaning that they pick and choose what they're going to allow onto these platforms. Certainly the SVOD platforms have always been curated. The transactional ones, they don't really care because, it's hit and miss for the consumer. But even the AVOD platforms are starting to become more curated because they don't want to just put up everything, all, a lot of garbage where the viewers are, they get there and they're disappointed because it appears like it's all low quality stuff. For that reason, it's getting harder and harder for indie films to get onto these platforms because it's hard for them to break through the clutter. And I understand that. I'm disappointed by it as an indie filmmaker, but I do understand it. One of the reasons that I created the indie film community is to create a vehicle that we can get through the clutter using a whole different model. And if you're interested in that, watch the intro to the indie film community, and it'll explain how we're rebuilding our community so that we support each other and try to break through some of the clutter. Because I hate to say it, the way the world is going right now with the level of programming from the bigger platforms and the big studios, it's really tough to compete as an indie filmmaker, and it's getting tougher. It's not getting easier. And that is because consumers want big product. That's the reality. So your indie film is still viable because it's good. You've made a good film, but breaking through, getting the attention of the consumers, getting it onto these platforms, getting it into the mainstream, creating awareness has become tougher and tougher and tougher and more expensive. Video on demand and streaming and digital delivery is evolving every day. Who knows what AI is going to bring? It's already upon us. Who knows how the world's going to change with AI and all the new emerging technologies that most of us don't even know about. And, who knows in 5 years from now what that will look like, how people will view in 10 years from now. So this is an ever-changing landscape. Filmmakers, you got to keep changing with it. You have to keep evolving. You have to rethink. As creative as you are in making your films, you have to be that creative in distributing, getting your films out to audiences as the technology changes and as new markets evolve and new delivery systems evolve. I wish I could read into the future, but like everybody else, I'm just paying attention and trying to grasp the new changes and change with them. So we'll see what the future holds. I hope it'll be very promising for indie filmmakers. And, I'm hopeful that the new technology will bring new opportunities.